So I'm going to comment on this hood mother in Atlanta who got tased by a security guard. And I'm not going to talk too much about what actually happened because there's plenty of videos about that. I just watched 2 myself, and I'm sure there's plenty more out there. But I'm going to comment on a comment that I read on Painless Risen's channel. This is by Ansel 1961. I just watched the video. These are the people we are supposed to unite with. These are the people we are supposed to build with. No thanks. You Unity folks can have them. I'm going my own way. And this was my response to Ansel 1961. And that's exactly the problem with Black Power rhetoric. Blacks keep talking about and to these substandard humans who aren't even listening or paying attention. It's like screaming into outer space. We don't focus enough on the best among our group. Instead, we speak as though we are the same as them. Hell no! We are not supposed to unite with them. And this is exactly what pisses me off about black people in general, because I am using a generalization. I am not speaking about all black people, but damn it, I'm definitely speaking about enough black people. Black people only use the worst examples of black people to identify as black people. Pretty much all my life, I have been told that I am different than black people, that I am not black people. I've been told this first. I was told this by white people because, as I've said before, and I think I'm going to say it pretty much every time I upload a video, I grew up around white people. Predominantly, okay? First I heard it from them, from as young as elementary school, as young as I've been exposed to white people since my childhood. You're not really black. I don't really consider you black. You're different from black people. And I always took this as an offense, because if I'm not so-called black, then what exactly am I? And who are you trying to say that I am? And eventually, I got tired of hanging around white people, as I ought to, and sought the company of people who looked more like me, only to be told, you talk like a white person, you act like a white person, you're not really black, you're not black enough. And I knew that this was just as ignorant as anything that I'd ever been told since my childhood. I'm pretty much as black as they come, simply because I am black. Now, I'm using the word black because that's what we identify with for the most part. But, you know, I don't necessarily categorize myself as black, but, you know, I'm just using that term. If you understand what I'm saying, then you understand what I'm saying. But this is my issue. What is black people? Are we not diverse? Are we not multifaceted? Do we not have different classes, different groups? Do we not achieve scholastically? Do we not have class? Are we not learned? Do we not have home training? Are we only ratchet, ghetto, hood, ignorant, belligerent, wild, reckless, violent, poor, impoverished, disenfranchised, marginalized? Do we not excel? Can we not speak? Is that what black people are? Because apparently that's what white people think black people are, and it's what black people think black people are. Hell no, we're not supposed to unite with the worst among our group. But time and time again, we're all pooled together. I've always said to ignore these people. I don't go to World Star Hip Hop, and that's just one site that I avoid. There's plenty more that I avoid. Madame Noir, I avoid that too. Totally different type of website, and yet still the same old bullshit. Indoctrinating women to be self-sufficient, independent, to not need a man, to believe that they're going to have bad relationships, to accept single motherhood, to accept single status, to be divisive. I was watching a video by V. Marie where they had taken some of her content and uploaded it to Gossip. Same thing happened to me a year ago. And it's the same old bullshit. And this is my problem. Unity, yes, we do need unity, but we need unity from the best of us. We don't need unity with all people who have brown skin, from all people from the African region. No, we don't need unity with all these people. And we're the only group that swears up and down that we need unity within all. There is another way to change culture. I touched on this in my video, Women and the Next Generation. There is this thing called like a scorched earth approach, which is basically to allow the dysfunctions to continue on their dysfunctional route until they basically die out. And that is one approach. Once they die out, then you create a new culture. And I do feel as though that's something that black people need to consider. Not by, letting each other die or letting each other kill each other. I'm not condoning violence. I'm simply saying to ignore these people. They are not me. And I refuse to accept that they're black like me. Those are trashy people. Those are unhinged miscreants. Those are the dregs of society. Those are parasites. Not because they're black, because they choose to be. That is not black people. Those are people who are out of control, who happen to look more like me than they happen to look like any other group of people on this planet. So as far as unity, black power, black nationalism, yeah, I believe that we do need to have more outreach. We do need to have more mentoring. We need to look out for each other. But you can't help anybody who's not interested in helping themselves. And so I wave goodbye to those people. And I don't mind it at all. They are not my problem. And they're certainly not my foundation for a solution. They are nothing to me. And I wish that more black people, so-called black people, more people who look like me, would adopt that philosophy. Stop pretending. Stop behaving as though that is us. Like I said, we don't focus enough on the best among our group. That person's lame. That person talks too proper. When there is no proper, it's just ignorance on top of ignorance. There's no proper, there's only a standard. And yes, using the standard would be beneficial to you if you want to excel in this system. When you go somewhere else, which you're not going to do, you will have to adopt that standard in order to get anywhere. Do you understand where I'm going with this? You talk white. Your name's white. You act white. You listen to white music. Why don't you watch BET? Why don't you watch Tyler Perry? You're not black enough. Is that black enough? Getting tased in the middle of the street in front of your children because you're acting like a wild beast? Is that black enough for you? But that's who we focus on. We don't focus on the best. We don't focus on the academics. We don't focus on the professionals, the business people, the righteous, the people who are morally sound, the people who have integrity, character, the squares and the lames. My interest is getting squares and lames to stand up and be more vocal. Get out of the basement playing Xbox, living in a fantasy world. Get some self-esteem, some confidence, some pride about yourself, and go outside and talk to a woman. Start a relationship. Learn how to speak up for yourself so you can actually stand out in a job interview, so you can get the job. So you can be worth a damn, so you can get out of your mother and father's house. So you can be appealing to the right type of woman. So you can stop looking for ratchet women on Tagged and Facebook who are just out for a meal ticket to drain your life before it even begins. But anyway, this has become a rant. There's so many black people who I know are not of this. They're not from this. They don't want this. They don't see this. And they certainly don't do this. And yet, they end up dating outside the race. And you wonder why that is. It's because black people don't concentrate on those black people. Those black people are ignored. Those black people are told they're not black. Well, this is black people. Congratulations.